There was an air of inevitability to the Prime Minister's announcement, given what she calls the contempt with which Russia has responded to her demands for an explanation of what the British authorities say was a nerve agent attack.
So, Mr. Speaker, there is no alternative conclusion other than that the Russian state was culpable for the attempted murder of Mr. Skripal and his daughter, and for threatening the lives of other British citizens in Salisbury, including Detective Sergeant Nick Bailey. This represents an unlawful use of force by the Russian state against the United Kingdom.
She told Parliament she's expelling 23 Russian diplomats alleged to be undeclared intelligence officers. They have a week to leave. She said the UK will suspend all high-level bilateral contacts with Russia and cancel a planned visit by Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Ministers and the royal family will boycott Russia's World Cup in June. And she said the government would freeze Russian state assets. If there's evidence, they may be used to threaten the life or property of UK nationals or residents. The opposition Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn was supportive up to a point. His spokesman later refused to say the Russian state was definitely at fault.
If the government believes that it is still a possibility that Russia negligently lost control of a military-grade nerve agent, what action is being taken through the OPCW with our allies? I welcome the fact the police are working with the OPCW. And has the Prime Minister taken the necessary steps under the Chemical Weapons Convention to make a formal request for evidence from the Russian government under Article 9.2?
From Russia itself, the message remains consistent. Speaking before Theresa May's announcement, the Foreign Minister was characteristically dismissive.
We will demand the application of international laws. We see no argument from our partners, and without demonstrating concrete facts, they'll be responsible for attempting to deceive the international community.
So at the Russian embassy in London, they'll be packing their bags. Anglo-Russian relations at their lowest point since the Cold War. But even now, Britain needs to keep open some lines of communication with Moscow. On so many issues, from Iran to North Korea, Britain can't afford to ignore Russia. The measures which have been announced here would have been largely anticipated by the Russians. What would really hurt them would be further multilateral sanctions involving other Western countries. For that to happen, Britain needs to convince its allies that this is not just a bilateral spat between London and Moscow, but an issue which has the potential to threaten the security of many Western countries. Barnaby, Phillips, Al Jazeera, Westminster in central London.